Hey! So this video is going to be pretty short and simple. I really want to do a speed painting of this photo. In the last video I put out, I did a bunch of speed paintings, and this photo was amongst some of the references that I was picking from. I didn't really have a chance to get to it then, but I've been thinking about it, and I still really want to paint it. So I'm going to paint it. So I'm going to try to paint this in an hour. Last time that didn't go too well. The first painting I did went to an hour and a half, and then the next two after that both were about 2 hours. If I can't get it done in an hour, then I'll push it and keep going, but that's the goal. I think I'm going to paint the background red. I know the background isn't red in the reference photo, but I feel like red would be cool, so I'm going to make it red. I don't really like the backgrounds to be even, so I'm adding in some of these different colored strokes. I usually just paint and mess around until I find something that feels right to me. I feel like having these messy backgrounds just makes the paintings feel so much more interesting. Usually I like the base color of my silhouette to be similar to the reference photo, but I think in this instance, I just want to use a funky color. I'm still not trying to use the undo button too much. My goal is to use it as little as possible so that this can feel much more like an organic painting. I also in some ways want this to feel like practice for painting something the traditional way. And you don't get an undo button when you paint something the traditional way. I haven't really done a painting traditionally in quite a long time, but once I do again, I'd like to have the confidence that I still can. Whenever I paint a portrait, I spend a lot of time figuring out the face, especially when it comes to doing a speed painting. For portraits, the face is the major focal point, and I really want to make sure that I have that looking right. Okay, so I got pretty far along within that first hour, but not long enough. I still gotta paint his jacket and his shirt and just kind of get in there and put in more of those details. I shot for an hour. I did pretty good for the first hour, but I'm gonna keep going, see how far I can get. I don't want to push more than 2 hours, so hopefully I can finish this up in the next hour. This next half of the painting was really about painting the jacket and starting to paint in some of the finer details. During this stage, I realized that I had a lot to learn about painting clothes. I found myself repainting over areas that had already been blocked in, specifically around the shadows and the folds. Once I had the clothes figured out though, it was time for some of those finer details. I went back to the hair and started putting in some color transitions and highlights. Then I started touching up some of the details of the face to help it look more finished. After that, I went back to the hat to try to get some of those texture details in there. And then, it was time for the final touches. Okay, that's 2 hours. I went a little bit over just to add in a little bit of like extra texture into the background. I think I just went over like 10 minutes. So 2 hours and 10 minutes. Probably the slowest speed paint ever. I don't know. Still getting the hang of this. It's still faster than anything else I do and it looks sick. So I'm happy. But yeah, overall, I think this is awesome. I love the way that this turned out. I think the red background really works for what's going on here. I think it suits the mood. I'm not so sure about the jacket. I think more could have been figured out here in the shoulder area. If I was trying to make this like super polished, I'd put a lot more time into it. I'd probably put another 2 hours into it, honestly. Whenever it comes to speed paintings of people, I really try to just nail the face. I put a lot of time into there because I think subconsciously, that's where most people are gonna look first. And I think that part looks really good. So I think I did a good job. If you guys like these speed paint videos, let me know in the comments. I'd like to do more. I'll see you all next time. Bye.